From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Tonight, these flyers raising some eyebrows and stirring some controversy. They were tossed around parts of downtown Indianapolis and handed out to people. The message focused on some serious issues downtown is now facing and placed the blame on the mayor and the city county council. Good evening to you at 11 o'clock. The flyers were anonymous. Besides targeting elected leaders, the message also took aim at those who live on city streets.
WRTV's Cornelius Hawker set out to learn more about the flyers and met a woman who feels the message they're spreading is unfair.
Barely a block away from luxury apartments and perfectly paved sidewalks is an area many in our city choose to ignore or perhaps don't even know exist. Several people call these sidewalks their home, but not by choice.
I don't want to stay out here forever.
This is Shay. For personal reasons, she asked that we not show her face. She wanted to talk to me because she says someone pulled up right next to their small group and threw out this flyer, implying they were up to no good.
Feel free to crap urine on my lawn, doorstep, and on my driveway. When have we ever? It's a porta party right there.
The flyer really upset Shay because she says she and so many others who are experiencing homelessness don't do any of the stuff it mentions, like drugs or harassing people for money. She tells me whoever made this flyer is out of touch.
Let's switch out for a day. Have us walk past y'all. Oh, look at these people, not knowing what y'all been through, not knowing anything about y'all.
Incidents like this are the norm for folks who live on the streets. Cars honk, people yell, some are kind, some aren't. But Shay's focused on the future and won't let anything, including people's perception of her, get in the way.
I'm trying to get my first tattoo is going to be a comma. Because nothing, my story's not finished yet. Yeah.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
And since the message on the flyer called out the mayor and the city county council, we asked them if they had any reaction besides their ongoing plans to address homelessness. So far, we have not yet heard back.
Tonight, activists held a funeral procession throughout Indianapolis to remember Dre John Reed and Mikhail Rose. It has been 15 weeks since separate Impd shootings left the two men dead. Activists stopped in front of what's believed to be Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett's house, demanding answers and justice. An Impd officer shot and killed Reed on May 6 during a chase on the northwest side. Investigators say Reed exchanged fire with the officer. Attorneys for Reed's family dispute that. Rose was shot and killed hours later. In that case, police said Rose may have been planning to ambush officers when they responded to the burglary call. Another protest is planned for tomorrow evening.
That's why we're here today, to get answers from the mayor. And when we say no justice, no peace, that means no peace. So we're going to continue to press for answers. We're going to continue to do what we need to do to get justice.
A special prosecutor is investigating the Reed case. Indy 10 Black Lives Matter hosted this demonstration.
Two Impd officers facing criminal charges are due back in court in November after making initial appearances today. And after the men faced a judge, their attorney defended his clients.
These officers took action that were consistent with their police training and procedures, and more importantly, consistent with the law.
Officers Jonathan Horlock and Nathaniel Shawwecker are charged in connection to the arrest of two women in May after the city issued a curfew to curb protests. Video that went viral shows officers hitting one of the women with batons and pepper bullets. The other was shoved to the ground.
Make no mistake, it is law and order that is being prosecuted today, while those who brought destruction and violence upon our city are walking free. We can and we should have important community discussion about law enforcement policies, training, and procedures. But it is wrong to prosecute these police officers when they were simply doing their best to protect our city.
A grand jury indicted the officers last week. Both face battery and official misconduct charges. Officer Horlock is also charged with perjury and obstruction of justice.
After weeks of decline, the number of Hoosiers filing first-time unemployment claims rose slightly. There were 11,750 claims filed last week. The previous week's adjusted total was 10,624. That was the lowest number since the beginning of the pandemic in March. We just told you last night on WRTV News at 11, Indiana will take part in a federal unemployment program. People who are eligible will get an additional $300 per week. Those making less than $100 a week in benefits do not qualify. The Department of Workforce Development says it's federal requirement, not a state-level decision here. People like Regina Edwards, who do not qualify, are frustrated.
I thought, oh my God, that's not fair. Not fair at all. I said, because the people that's getting under $100 need the help more than anything.
As we told you last night, the payments could take about a month to process because DWD has to change its system. And FEMA, the agency in charge of the program, estimates the money will last about 5 to 6 weeks, depending on how many states participate.
Hoosiers who have had to drop out or put higher learning on pause due to financial roadblocks have more resources available. More than $327,000 from the CARES Act is going towards Indy Achieves completion grants. Those grants cover debt, unpaid bursar bills, and other costs that prevent IUPUI and Ivy Tech students from continuing their education. Students can use these new funds to return to school.
Thanks to the city's investment, more students are able to come back, get enrolled or stay enrolled and continue pursuing their degree or credential.
Unfortunately, the deadline for IUPUI has passed for this upcoming semester, but Marion County residents who want to return to Ivy Tech can still request a grant. For more info, go to indyachieves.org.
The fall semester at IU and Purdue start on Monday, but both universities are already dealing with large student gatherings. In West Lafayette, 36 Purdue students are suspended after a party last night at an off-campus residence. In a statement, the university says students violated the Protect Purdue pledge passed by the school's trustees in May in an effort to prevent COVID outbreaks. The students can appeal. In Bloomington, IU administrators say they're actively investigating a large off-campus student party. IU says the party violated county and state regulations related to event size, physical distancing, and face covering. A new study adds to growing evidence that children are not immune to COVID-19 and may play a larger role in community spread than previously thought. The Journal of Pediatrics looked at nearly 200 young people from newborns to 22 years old who were hospitalized or went to urgent care. Researchers found many carried a viral load significantly higher than hospitalized adults.
There have been some studies to show that children from 10 to 19 can transmit to adults as easily as adults transmit to adults.
Researchers also implied schools may have to focus on testing rather than temperature checks because even asymptomatic kids could have high levels of COVID-19.
Another central Indiana school district is making changes due to concerns over positive COVID cases. Center Grove High School, Middle School, Central and Middle School North are switching to e-learning next week, followed by a minimum 2 weeks on a hybrid schedule after that. According to the State Department of Health, 955 new positive cases of the virus were reported across Indiana between August 14th and yesterday. The 7-day positivity rate between August 7th and 13th was 7.6%. 2,979 people in Indiana have died from COVID-19.
It's official tonight. Former Vice President Joe Biden accepted the Democratic nomination for President of the United States. ABC's Lorene Shaw reports Biden showcased what kind of president he would be during a pandemic by hosting the final day of the convention at a drive-in.
In front of hundreds of packed cars in the parking lot of the Chase Center, former Vice President Joe Biden making the case that he will be the best uniter in chief.
Here and now, I give you my word. If you entrust me with the presidency, I will draw on the best of us, not the worst. I'll be an ally of the light, not the darkness. It's time for us, for we the people, to come together.
It's Biden's third attempt at the presidency, but also his first as the party's nominee. Biden making the case to make Donald Trump a one-term president.
We can choose a path of becoming angrier, less hopeful, more divided, a path of shadow and suspicion, or we can choose a different path and together take this chance to heal, to reform, to unite.
Trump a few miles away from Biden's hometown, taking shots at the former vice president.
He abandoned Pennsylvania. He abandoned Scranton.
Fellow politicians who had one time either hoped to unseat Donald Trump or perhaps have a place on the ticket, now joining forces with Biden, throwing their support behind him at the last day of the convention.
I have gotten to know both Joe and Kamala on the trail over the past year. The way you really get to know a person when the cameras are off, the crowds are gone, it's just you and them. They're real people. They understand the problems we face.
As president, Joe Biden would never let tyrants manipulate him like a puppet. He would never pervert our military to stroke his own ego.
Joe Biden is right. This is a contest for the soul of the nation. And to me, that contest is not between good Americans and evil Americans. It's the struggle to call out what is good in every American.
Trump has been paying attention to the DNC all week, saying he sees a lot of hate and anger at this event. The RNC is next week. Zoreen Shaw, ABC News, Wilmington.
You are good to mow on Friday, but rain chances this weekend could cut into your mowing time. I'll detail when that wet weather is most likely.
And next, how this puppy will help carry on the name and mission of service of an Impd officer who made the ultimate sacrifice. We'll be right back.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Welcome back. This young pup will help carry on the legacy of an Impd officer who gave her life in the line of duty. Today, Metro Police and the Indiana Canine Assistance Network introduced Breezy the Service Dog. The dog is named after Officer Breanne Leith, who was shot and killed while responding to a domestic disturbance call in April. ICANN has named several dogs after local fallen officers and service members.
What we find in naming a dog in memory of someone such as Breanne is there's a lot of healing that takes place, and the dog is that little four-legged animal that brings change and hope to a lot of people, to the inmates that train the dog, and then to the clients, but also the community.
And part of ICANN's program includes training dogs like Breezy at the Indiana Women's Prison in Indianapolis. During Officer Leith's career, she worked as a corrections officer at the prison.
A lot of fan-favorite events that lead up to the Indianapolis 500 are not happening this year due to COVID-19, but the 500 Festival Foundation found a way to continue some traditions in a safe way. Today, the McDonald's parking lot on 71st Street transformed into a drive-through community fundraiser. 500 Festival princesses were on hand to greet donors. 500 Festival cars and other race decorations were on display. The 500 Festival does more than just celebrate the Indy 500. The charity organization provides free health and education programs and makes other community investments.
And of course, Carb Day will not be the same tomorrow, but here's a live look at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Race day is still Sunday, and WRTV meteorologist Kyle Mounds joins us now. Kyle, fans still want to know the forecast for race weekend. It's been a little tricky looking at it earlier in the week.
Yeah, we got just a small chance for rain in that forecast, Amanda, but I think overall Sunday's forecast looking pretty good here for race day. Temperatures are going to start to heat up. We've had a couple of very nice days here across central Indiana, and tonight, much like last night, Indianapolis is holding on to that 70-degree reading while other locations have fallen well into the 60s. You're at an even 60 degrees in Bloomington, and pretty quickly we'll be into the 50s. High pressure, that continues to dominate our weather pattern, keeping us quiet, and you even notice the showers that were over eastern portions of Kentucky that were trying to spread toward our direction. Those are even falling apart tonight. So with those clear skies, we'll find temperatures returning to the 50s. 55 in Lafayette. We'll call for around 59 degrees in the city and 56 in Richmond. Areas like Marion, Indiana may dip into the lower 50s, so you might need that jacket for just a little bit, but certainly not by the afternoon. Temperatures with quite a bit of sunshine will make a run there into the middle 80s, right about where we should be for this time of year. 84 degrees in Muncie, 86 in Lafayette. And as we go through the day, we'll see a few more of those clouds through the afternoon and just a touch more humidity in the air. Still not going to have that tropical feel. Should feel pretty good out there. Our temperature 79 at noon, and again, we'll get into those middle 80s for afternoon highs. With this dry stretch of weather that we've had, we continue with some dry conditions here, especially from Lafayette through Tipton and Muncie areas to the north. So we could use a little bit of rain. Those rain chances not going to get overly impressive here, only about 40% as we get into Saturday. So I know the timing's not great here as it does go into the weekend, but I don't think we're seeing a washout. As we look at TrueCast, we get to 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. You see just a few of these showers and downpours, mainly across the southeastern half of the state. I think they may inch a little further to the north. We'll keep an eye on that. However, it does look like things will fade away pretty quickly. And the race day forecast, 86, there's just that 20% chance of a passing shower or storm. 7-day planning forecast as we put it all together for you. And there's the heat next week. We'll take away those rain chances, but afternoon highs are going to be around 90 degrees. So summer continues here in August. Amanda?
Thank you, Kyle. The pandemic is creating new challenges for educators, students, and parents. Scripps reporter Alexa Liacco found that's especially the case for special education students and their families.
Okay, so I have a guessing game. It's Disney themed.
They just told us it's a temporary thing.
It's been 5 months.
Josephine, who do you think?
5 months of a home turned special needs classroom for 11-year-old Josephine Senek.
She's got multiple disabilities, including a rare chromosome disorder. She's missing the connective tissue in her brain, and then she's got autism.
The Seneks, like families across the country, were forced into remote learning because of COVID-19. But for a child with disabilities, it's an entirely different experience.
It's different because we're mom and dad. We're not therapist, we're not teacher, we're not aide.
But Krista and her husband were thrust into all those roles.
Emotionally, we were absolutely wrecked. She would melt down and hit us, pull our hair, scratch us.
Thankfully for the Seneks, their teenage son Sheldon is stepping in to be Josephine's aide.
We take virtual field trips to Europe, Africa.
But Sheldon's help is just for the summer, and it's not what Josephine is used to. In school, she had professionally trained aides with her every day.
It just blew her up, and she couldn't focus, she couldn't learn, she couldn't get therapy.
For students with special needs, the therapy they get in school is critical to developing social skills and maintaining physical health.
I just don't want her to go backwards. When a child with disabilities goes backwards, it takes us twice as long to get back to where we need to be.
Krista says the last few months have impacted her own health too.
Our school district and the school, they all thought about what's best for the kids. Nobody thought about the parents.
It's been the toughest time in her life as a mother.
I don't blame my daughter, but it is a result of caring for a child with special needs that I have PTSD.
The emotional weight made worse, worrying for her daughter's future.
I have no idea what her future is going to hold for her.
You okay?
I'm nervous that maybe she would have been in a group home, independent. Now she might need a nursing home.
Senek is hopeful this fall her daughter can safely return to school. But she says for all families with special needs students, the time to ask for help is now.
Moving forward, we need the proper assistance, regardless of where we are with this pandemic. The special needs population cannot be forgotten.
I'm Alexa Liacco.
Many parents rely on carpooling to get students to and from school, but how safe are they when it comes to COVID? Our partners at Newsy take that question to experts.
As the school year starts, you might be wondering about the risks of getting sick with COVID-19. We asked the experts, how risky is carpooling? Their take, the risk of contracting COVID-19 from a carpool is medium risk.
If you have several different families as a part of a carpool, then you have more risk. It's more of a moderate risk because you have several different children from different homes. And the more children you add to that equation from different locations, I think the riskier it becomes.
Are you going to have your mask on? You're going to be in a closed environment. Who's wiping down the car when you're done?
It's relative to a bus, it's better. If you are bringing yourself in a very enclosed space in the car, you can't really keep 6 feet distance in a car. So there is a risk by bringing those kids in, but if you just keep it with the same carpool and you're keeping the windows open, and those are the same kids that they are exposed to on a daily basis when you go to school, I think that's actually the best thing that you can do. Aside from actually even better is walking to school or biking to school where you stay in the outdoor.
For more answers on what is low, medium, or high risk, visit newsy.com/what's the risk.
From the the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Welcome back. A young driver is looking to make a big impression on Sunday at the greatest spectacle in racing. WRTV's Brad Brown takes us trackside.
A year ago, Santino Ferrucci was one of the new guys here at Indianapolis and earned Rookie of the Year honors. He's back, set to go fast again here at Indy, and that's something he's been doing for a very long time. In a short period of time, Santino Ferrucci has developed some notoriety as one of IndyCar's most aggressive young drivers.
I don't take unnecessary risks, but I will drive around hard, putting the pedal on the floor until, I've had my fair share of moments, but I've been able to catch everything, so I've been very lucky.
But that's not really anything new for Santino.
What you're about to do is drive a go-kart going 60 miles an hour.
12-year-old Santino Ferrucci.
You just steer like a normal car.
At just 12 years old, he was considered a racing prodigy, working his way through the karting ranks. As a teenager, he made his way to Europe, stints in GP3 and Formula 2. A high-profile incident in 2018 saw him fired from that ride.
Everything's so restricted there as well as far as media goes, so you don't really have a voice, you don't have a personality, you're so told what to do. I mean, I came back here and I'm being myself.
But it ultimately opened the door to IndyCar. Ferrucci debuting in 2018 and getting a full-time ride for 2019 with Dale Coyne Racing. It led to a mesmerizing drive through last May's Indy 500. Ferrucci started 23rd, but worked his way methodically up to a 7th place finish and Rookie of the Year honors.
It's something in my driving, in my mindset, everything that I do, I get out there and it's just natural. I just feel like I can go fast with anything.
Now he's back for a second go at the 500. His full focus on his IndyCar future and counting the days until race day at Indy arrives again.
There's nothing like going out in front of 300,000 people. I've never seen that many people in my life. I've never been to a sporting event that big in my life. The fact that I got to attend it was just another thing. And no, I think ever since we left on Monday, I've been just waiting and waiting. Everything's just been a wait up to that race again.
Ferrucci and the 18 team will start 19th on the inside of row 7 this Sunday. There are 2 rookies starting in the first 3 rows. We'll see if any of those youngsters will be running up front at the end of the day.
A prominent movie theater chain is offering discounts in an effort to attract customers back to the big screen. AMC opened dozens of locations around the country today, including 2 locally, Castleton 14 and Indianapolis 17 on the south side. Tomorrow through next Thursday, the theaters are screening some familiar movies for $5. They include Black Panther, Beauty and the Beast, and Back to the Future. AMC is requiring everyone to wear masks and adhere to social distancing. Right now in Marion County, theaters are limited to 25% capacity. AMC expects all of its Indiana theaters to be open by Labor Day weekend.
Nice weather here as we round out the week. Temperatures that will make their way into the middle 80s with partly cloudy skies. Got about a 30 to 40% chance of a shower or storm Saturday afternoon. And as we go into race day, a high of 86, just that spotty shower chance. Then we're really going to dry things out and kind of heat it up once again here as we get into next week. We've got highs that'll be in the upper 80s to lower 90s. The humidity is going to be back as well.
Thank you so much for making WRTV your choice for news. Good Morning Indiana starts at 4:30. Good night.